The U.S. Open at Shinnecock Hills is 2 weeks away, the toughest test in golf, a course so brutal that not a single player finished under par the last time it hosted. And Jon Rahm just pulled his 22-year-old teammate aside and told him something that has the entire golf world talking. Honestly, I can't even begin to make him understand what that week is going to be like. Those words were directed at Caleb Surratt, the young LIV Golf star who just qualified for his first major championship. Rahm didn't sugarcoat it. He didn't offer false hope. He told Surratt the truth. His first major debut is going to be a rude awakening. But that's not all Rahm revealed. He also dropped a bombshell about why he's refusing to help LIV Golf find new investors. He admitted he has no idea about business and would rather stay in his lane. And he confessed that he doesn't regret a single decision he's made, even as his league crumbles around him. What did Jon Rahm just tell his teammate that has everyone paying attention? And what does it say about the $300 million man's future in golf? Welcome to Golf Untold. Today we're breaking down every word. Let me set the scene for you. It's June 2026. Jon Rahm is standing in front of reporters at LIV Golf Andalusia, the event being played at the legendary Valderrama course in Spain. He's relaxed, comfortable, speaking in his native Spanish before switching to English. And then someone asks him about his 22-year-old teammate Caleb Surratt. Surratt just did something remarkable. He came through a 6-for-1 playoff in the final qualifying event at Dallas Athletic Club. That means 6 players were fighting for one spot, and Surratt survived. He's going to Shinnecock Hills for the U.S. Open, his first major championship. Most veterans would offer encouragement. They'd say, "You've got this," or "Just play your game." Jon Rahm is not most veterans. Let's be honest, your first ever major playing at Shinnecock Hills is going to be a rude awakening, Rahm said. Then he went further. Honestly, I can't even begin to make him understand what that week is going to be like. That week is so unique. Think about the weight of those words. The defending Masters champion, a 2-time major winner, a man who has played in more big tournaments than most players will ever see. And he's admitting that he doesn't have the words to prepare his own teammate for what's coming. Rahm explained why Shinnecock is different. "I know he's going to go next week and see the golf course early, and from when he sees it on Tuesday and Wednesday of tournament week, and when he tees off on Thursday, it is going to change so much that I don't know if I can make him understand how difficult it's going to be." The USGA is famous for this. They set up the course to be almost playable for the practice rounds. Then Thursday morning arrives and suddenly the pins are on slopes, the rough is ankle deep, and the greens are faster than glass. Shinnecock in 2018 was so brutal that not a single player finished under par. Phil Mickelson famously hit a moving ball in frustration and received a penalty. Rahm knows all of this, and he's trying to prepare Surratt without terrifying him. I don't think he's ever been a part of a tournament in which nobody has ever finished under par, like the last U.S. Open. At Shinnecock, Rahm continued, "Thursday and Friday, they technically could have set it up harder like they did on Saturday afterward. I am going to try to make him understand." But then Rahm said something that really caught my attention. He admitted that even he didn't know how to handle these situations when he was Surratt's age. In my case, when I was his age, I still didn't know how to process it, and I'd played a few majors, I think, at that point. It's like when you're kids. You need to fall a few times before you learn how to walk, and it could be the case as well. That's the voice of experience. That's a champion who remembers being young and overwhelmed. And he's telling Surratt and the rest of us that there are some lessons that can't be taught. You have to live them. While Rahm was warning Surratt about Shinnecock, the rest of the golf world was wondering about something else. Does Jon Rahm regret leaving the PGA Tour? The LIV ship is taking on water. The PEIF is pulling its funding after 2026. Players are scrambling to figure out their futures. And Rahm is sitting on a contract reportedly worth $300 million or more. His answer? Not for a second. I would also say I've made a lot of decisions in my life, and I've never gone back thinking, "Oh, had I known this again, I would do X and Y different," Rahm said ahead of the PGA Championship. "I could do that about 15 different golf shots on a golf course every single day. If I lived my life like that as a golfer, I would be a very pessimistic person." This is the same Jon Rahm who was asked what he's learned from his LIV experience. His answer was as cryptic as it was revealing. "That is for me to know, and that's about that." Let me translate that for you. Rahm is not going to give the media any ammunition. He's not going to admit that he made a mistake. He's not going to second-guess himself in public. Whatever regrets he has, and he may have none, he's keeping them to himself. But here's where his position gets complicated. Rahm has also admitted that he doesn't see many ways out of his LIV contract. "As of right now, I have several years on my contract left, and I'm pretty sure they did a pretty good job when they drafted that, so I don't see many ways out." So let me paint you a picture. Rahm is committed to a league that might not exist next year. He's legally bound to a contract that he can't easily escape, and he's telling everyone who will listen that he has no regrets about any of it. Is that confidence? Or is that denial? The answer might be somewhere in the middle. Rahm has a philosophy that helps him sleep at night. If you made all the decisions, whatever decision you've made or choice is thought through and made for the reasons that you think are proper reasons, there's no sense in dwelling on it. In fact, you shouldn't really be unhappy about it. At least there's nothing that you regret. That's a healthy mindset. But healthy mindsets don't pay the bills when your league's funding dries up, and Rahm knows it. When asked about the future of LIV, he deflected. "It's the people in charge of LIV, whose job I do not envy for a second. Not now, not when things are going good, because it's not something I think I can do. It's their job to fix it." This is the part of the story that really opened my eyes. Bryson DeChambeau is out there pitching to investors. He's flying around the country, attending business meetings, trying to save LIV Golf. Jon Rahm? Not interested. "I am not? No," Rahm said flatly when asked if he'd be meeting with potential investors. "I said it in Spanish. I don't know how to translate it to English. It would be more of a stay-in-your-lane type situation as it goes to me." Let me repeat that. Rahm used the phrase, "stay in your lane." He knows what he's good at. He knows what he's not good at. And business, apparently, falls into the second category. "I know nothing about business. I'm never going to claim to know anything about business. And if I was in a business pitch, I would not know the first thing to say. My job is to play golf. And I'll say it is hard enough as it is." This is either incredibly self-aware or incredibly naive. LIV Golf is trying to raise between $250 million and $350 million from new investors. The league is pitching a reduced 10-event schedule and offering equity stakes to players. The future of the entire operation depends on finding that money. And the second-best player in the world, a man with name recognition, a major champion, a former world #1, is refusing to help. To be fair to Rahm, he has reasons. He has 3 children and a 4th on the way. He has a minimum of 5 DP World Tour events to play under his recent settlement agreement. He has 2 more majors this year. He's busy. If any player who knows what they're doing is willing to do certain things like that, I think it can only help, Rahm said. To have insight from a player on a meeting like that can help, and I'm open for any suggestions possible. But I would also say I don't have the free time that Bryson has to be flying around the country to attend meetings with 3 little ones and 1 on the way. That's fair. Family comes first. But here's the question that nobody is asking out loud. If LIV collapses because they couldn't secure funding, and if Rahm's refusal to help contributed to that collapse, will he still have no regrets? While Rahm has been refusing to help LIV's business future, he's been quietly securing his own. In early May, he reached an agreement with the DP World Tour to pay his outstanding fines, reportedly around £2.5 million, which is roughly $4.7 million. Let me put that number in perspective. $4.7 million is more than most PGA Tour players earn in a season. It's more than some players earn in their entire careers, and Jon Rahm wrote a check for that amount just to keep his European Tour membership. Why? The Ryder Cup. Rahm wants to play at Adair Manor in Ireland in 2027. He wants to represent Europe, and after the settlement, he can. Luke Donald, the European Ryder Cup captain, was visibly relieved. I'm not involved in the policy of the DP World Tour and the discussions between the parties. I did talk to Jon. I just wanted to get his thoughts on where he was. Rahm had previously accused the DP World Tour of extorting players. He had refused to pay the fines. He had appealed every penalty. But with LIV's future in doubt, he changed his tune. There were some concessions on both sides. I offered some. They extended an olive branch. Obviously, we've reached an agreement. That will not be a stress anymore, Rahm said. The timing of this agreement was not accidental. The PUF had just announced it was pulling its funding. Rahm needed a backup plan, and the DP World Tour with its Ryder Cup pathway was that backup plan. Here's what I find fascinating about this whole situation. Rahm paid $4.7 million to secure his future, but he won't lift a finger to secure LIV's future. He's protecting himself while letting the league fend for itself. That's not disloyalty. That's self-preservation. And in a situation as uncertain as this one, self-preservation might be the smartest move of all. Even the Europeans who criticized him are coming around. Donald compared the situation to brothers fighting. Even brothers fight sometimes, but deep down they love each other, and the mission is pretty clear when we play a Ryder Cup, and that's to win. Amid all the drama about contracts and funding and business meetings, one fact has gotten lost. Jon Rahm is still really good at golf. At the PGA Championship in May, Rahm finished in a tie for second place, 3 shots behind winner Aaron Rory. He was in contention all week. He hit beautiful shots. He looked like the player who dominated from 2021 to 2023. Alan Shipnuck, the veteran golf journalist, had this to say. It was fun to see Jon Rahm in full flight. Obviously he didn't win, but P was a couple of putts away from being right there. He hit so many beautiful shots. The violence in his swing is something to behold. The width is unlike anything else, that short backswing and the force he creates. He had a presence. Shipnuck also revealed something interesting about how Rahm is perceived by his peers. When asked which LIV player PGA Tour players would most want to see return, the answer was overwhelming. Everyone knows that Bryson moves the needle, but Rahm has more friends in the locker room, and I think the purists appreciate his game more. If you put it to the players, I think they would vote Rahm, and it would not even be that close. That's telling. Even after everything, the defection, the money, the lawsuits, Rahm is still respected. He's still wanted. He still has a home in professional golf if he can find his way back. But that "if" is doing a lot of heavy lifting. The PGA Tour has already offered a path back to some LIV players. But those players, Brooks Koepka, Patrick Reed, didn't burn their bridges the way Rahm did. And even if the door is open, Rahm's contract with LIV might keep it closed. As of right now, Rahm is leading the LIV Golf individual standings. He's the 2-time defending individual champion on the circuit. He's playing great golf. But the question that follows him everywhere is the same one we've been asking for months. Where will he be playing next year? I've been thinking about Jon Rahm's words for days now. The rude awakening warning to Surratt. The stay-in-your-lane refusal to help with investors. The no-regrets declaration about his career choices. And I keep coming back to the same conclusion. Jon Rahm is a paradox. He's a 2-time major champion who refuses to help save his own league. He's a $300 million man who paid $4.7 million to keep his European Tour membership. He's a player who says he has no regrets while simultaneously securing backup plans in case everything falls apart. The warning to Caleb Surratt was genuine. Rahm genuinely wants to help his young teammate. He genuinely remembers what it was like to be young and overwhelmed. And he genuinely doesn't know how to prepare Surratt for Shinnecock because some lessons have to be learned the hard way. But that same man is refusing to learn the lesson that might save his career. The business of golf matters. The structure of the sport matters. And by staying in his lane, by focusing only on the next shot, by refusing to engage with the uncertainty around him, Rahm is taking a massive gamble. He's gambling that LIV will find investors. He's gambling that his contract will be honored. He's gambling that the PGA Tour or DP World Tour will welcome him back if everything falls apart. Those are big gambles. And Jon Rahm doesn't seem worried about any of them. Maybe that's the real lesson here. Not the warning about Shinnecock, not the refusal to help with investors, but the calm, the confidence, the refusal to panic even as the ground shifts beneath his feet. Jon Rahm has made his choices. He's living with them, and he's not looking back. What did Jon Rahm really tell his teammate? He told him that some things can't be explained, you just have to experience them. And maybe that's true for Rahm's own career too. The US Open at Shinnecock will be a rude awakening for Caleb Surratt, but the future of professional golf might be a rude awakening for Jon Rahm. The question is whether he'll be ready for it when it comes.